Understanding that you can draw new conclusions from the same set of facts, that there are multiple sides to every story and multiple ways to be right is great, but it's quite a burden.
The other day I had about 8 tasks that required critical thinking, and it piled up on me. I think it's the decisions without time pressure that are often the ones we dwell on the most. I know for me it's going to be at least like 30 minutes minimum.
Because of the struggle I had on that day I talked about, I started writing down my to-do list differently. So I would account for critical thinking versus doing/action in these two columns. People do perceive tasks differently. For me, even something like getting on a phone call to chat strength and conditioning is something that I would put under the doing/action tab. I might put writing down the call notes or something that I have to reflect on after in the critical thinking tab, which just shows you how it differs for people, especially when you consider people's jobs as well. If you imagine a lawyer, philosopher, editor, researcher, they're all going to have to do a ton of critical thinking. And if you write this all down, you can get ratios or percentages for critical thinking or doing/action. In an ideal world, my life would look like 75% doing/action and 25% critical thinking, or a 3-to-1 ratio. As I mentioned with the professions, it may vary greatly for you. Also, probably don't write down brushing your teeth in the doing/action tab and then count it. It might throw off the ratio. You can see here I got a 3 to 8 or 27 to 73%.
Anyways, the way I see it, all this tracks back to awareness, because if you have an idea of what your ideal ratio is, you don't actually need to be tracking the numbers. If you want to, that's great. But simply having that awareness and being able to delegate tasks to the future that don't fit in, bring stuff back that maybe you're going to do later, whatever it is, just making that work better for you, or finding different ways to achieve the same goal that fit into that better and are easier on you.
Rumination is also closely tied to this conversation. You can see the definition here. It basically just means reflecting, but in psychology circles, there's usually a negative connotation tied to it. If you've ever repeatedly replayed conversations in your head, forecasted future ones, being bogged down is another good way to describe it. Dwelling and cyclical thinking, these all go along with it. This is a big pathway to negative psychological outcomes. It can affect your ability to process emotions, to sleep well, and often becomes habitual. One of the best papers I've read on it, which I will link in the description, is here. It was a big test done in the UK with original sample size of like 30,000 plus people.
Of course, reflection and critical thinking are good things. It's just about finding your balance. A way a friend of mine called Sean puts it is one thing he said to me: "Are you ruminating or illuminating?" I thought that was great. The way I would word it is, if you ask too many questions, you're putting too much faith in your ability to solve them. But if you don't ask any questions at all, you won't have any ability. Anyways, hope that gets you thinking. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.